for Smart Talk 1490 KMET.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMT 1490 AM. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. We've got a lot of things going on. It's the amazing day of all. Yes, it's the day before the weekend. What have you got planned? What are you going to do? I know sometimes we go, okay, we have an idea, and then some people do, and some people don't. Some people stay home. Some people just, veg. If it's one of those days where you want to veg, that's awesome. For some people I know, they're kind of like, what is it that's inexpensive? Because they're kind of like adding up the bills, and they're going, okay, that's due, that's due, that's due, that's due, that's due, and what? I don't have money for that. What am I going to do? So then they stress out, right? So I say this, if anything, treat yourself to like, have you ever done those facials? Jess, do you know what facials I'm talking about?
No, you're gonna have to get very, very specific on that.
Okay, it's basically just a little like, and they have some stores. They're very inexpensive. They're Korean stores. There's one in Monterey Park on Atlantic. But if you ever find one, usually they have. It looks like a little mask. It's got a couple holes for the eyes and like for the nose so that you can breathe, and one for the lips. You put that on. You soak in it. Okay, for at least a good, if you have a lady, you have her apply it to you and then just chill for like a good 15, 20 minutes. And by the end of that, you'll probably feel a lot better, at least your face will. And then it'll relax you, especially if you have something that hydrates and makes you feel good, okay? Then I say listen to something that kind of like helps you out, because there's times I've been so stressed. I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So I just, instead of like making a decision in that way, I just slow everything down. I take a good maybe half hour to maybe 40 some minutes before I fall asleep. And then even if I fall asleep after that, I wake up with a fresh perspective. But I ask myself the whole time, what can I do that can like either A, figure something out, or B, make something happen so that I can like go next level with either financial, or maybe it's a problem with a friend, or it's a problem with somebody that I know. Although those don't stress me out. Those are just kind of, I say whatever. Maybe it's somebody that like you're like, okay, who owes me money, right? And you're like, okay, do they have money, right? A lot of people don't have money right now. And so yeah, there's that. But I think people are getting stressed, and I say, and it never helps. It never helps, Jess. I say, yeah, but look at the people like in Russia and Ukraine. Those people are stressed for a reason. But that never helps anybody, huh, when they're stressed. Have you noticed that?
Oh yes, yes, yes. Stress. Oh, that'll it either kill you or make you stronger.
Yeah, and I say it's a slow death. They say, back to like heart problems and stuff, certain like when you get blood pressure and all that stuff, it doesn't help. So I say this, okay, this is my little like thing that's helped me throughout probably the last 3 or 4 years, maybe even 3, 4, 5, 6 years when I stumbled on it. And I play a video, I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of those that put on ASMR, okay? You might call me cray, I get it. You might hear it and nothing happens, but there's some videos that when you put that on, you feel relaxed, okay? So sometimes I'll put a video on like that, and then I just play that. I may not have like a face thing on me. I haven't as of late. I used to do that like years ago. But, you just kind of like find the alone place that you're at. Don't stress. Chill. And within 30 to 40 minutes, maybe the answer comes, maybe the answer doesn't come, but you go, you know what? It's not that bad. I can deal with it. I just need to center it. Because sometimes people get uncentered and they go all over the place. And then when they get all over the place, they don't make a decision based on something that they could do very easily. Like sometimes it's just called walk away. Sometimes let's say a relationship is causing you problems. I saw somebody post this. Why are people going back to their ex, right? Like, don't become desperate during this time where, you're thinking like, maybe around the corner, everybody's going to be in love. Figure out a way to find your center, right? And don't stress about it. And then just go back to basics. Say, okay, what do I have at my disposal to be able to maybe pay or not pay? Sometimes people stress on the things that they think they should pay, when in reality, I say always go back to something that I learned a long time ago, okay? This is like in my early 20s. In my early 20s, I learned, Jess, that you always pay for stuff that you need first. Okay, let's say, for example, You have okay, your car is due, your home is due. Let's see what else is due. Maybe you bought something on credit, right? And let's see what else. Oh, you owe somebody money, right? I've had to do that. And you have no one paying you because no one has paid their bill as of late, especially to me. I'm like, hello, hello, hello. And so I'm like, okay, but let's say no one pays, right? But you got to eat. What do you do first, Jess?
I have no idea.
Well, it's simple. You eat.
Oh well, yeah. What, catch a pigeon?
No, you see, you went the wrong way, Jess. Okay, so see, a lot of people would say, no, I gotta pay my vehicle. Yes, that's actually really the first one because in order to get any of those done, you need your vehicle paid for. You don't want to repossess. So that's one of the first ones, along with feed yourself. Okay, you gotta feed yourself. Now, a lot of people can not have to like eat the way they normally do, right? Jess, I know you talk about it all the time. You're like, oh, if you had to, like, I remember one person, them telling me, and I thought it was the smartest thing. She said, you know what I do? I said, what? She goes, I just get a shake, and that is my worst case scenario. So I get some powder, put it with water. Hey, it helps me lose weight anyway, and it's like a budget. So I know how much a shake is. 30, $40. You get one like at Walmart or Target or at your nutrition store, and you stick to that. That is your meal every single day. Now, is that a good meal? Some would say no. I would say yes, because at least you feed yourself. So that's 30, $40. Boom, you got your nutrition. If you get something that has all the vitamins and stuff, then you're good to go. So you could do that. I used to have one regularly and helped me lose a lot of weight. But it had exactly what I needed. I just mixed it with water. Boom, I was good to go. And I put it like in a little shaker, and I was good to go. If I go traveling, I take that with me. And then if people eat around me, or if they want a treat, or if they're like, hey, you want to go here? I might do that once a day, but not every single day. So that's how you can economize yourself down to like, oh no, I have no food for me or the family, right? But you can put your whole family technically on that. I wouldn't put babies on that. It doesn't make sense. But those that have like babies have baby food and like other things, diapers and expendables that they have to do. But if you really, really, really had to go back to basics, don't buy diapers because those are expensive. Yeah, people are finding out eggs are expensive. I went to my hairstylist and she was like, do you know eggs are $10 a dozen? I said, what? She goes, yeah, I get the cage-free ones. I prefer that. And yeah, have you bought eggs anytime recent, Jess?
I'm not a big eater of butt nuggets. Casey eats them a lot, but I don't really pay for them, so I don't really look at the price.
Yeah, I would look at the price. So they're
Yeah.
$10 for a dozen, and that's basically almost like 80 some cents per egg, right? Whereas before it used to be a lot less. So that's number one. Number two, if you have a family member that's upset or like they come at you, right, and especially the next few days because people are gonna get really stressed, then you say, you know what, I'm gonna give them time. I'm not gonna judge that. Maybe they're going through something really difficult. Maybe they have a problem, either with someone else or a bill or something else. I just ask people, I say, are you having a problem with a bill? They go, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Can I help you with it, right? I have some people that are not having a problem with a bill, but they're having a problem with, people they know. Maybe it's a wife. Maybe it's a husband. Maybe it's a member of the family. Maybe it's a kid. Maybe it's a teenager, right? So there's a lot of things that can happen all of a sudden. But I'd say address it and or walk away until you can address it, but don't let it sit there because things always have a problem eventually. Don't let it sit there, okay? So that's my advice, but look up ASMR, see if there's something that kind of tones you down. There are a lot of videos that kind of help you kind of like zen out, so to speak, or just chill. Like, you may not be able to afford a massage, but you're able to kind of like listen to something that soothes you, whatever does that for you. What are you thinking, Jess?
Okay, so we all know our phones listen to us, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I remember we were talking about massages a few days back or something like that, and I don't know why, but like this little thing came on my TikTok. I was like, oh, someone was recording the outside of a massage parlor. I was like, oh, cool, that looks like a cool place. And then it slowly pans out, and there's a swarm of cops busting into it. I'm like, I don't think that's the place to go.
Yeah, no, that's not. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like an official massage place. Like a lot of people go to Massage Envy. Okay, I have a place on Valley, All right, and I've taken people there, not a lot, but a few, and I go, hey, do you want a quick massage? They go, yeah. I say, okay, come here. And then they go with me, and they love it because it's just like a quick little hour massage. They usually do 2 hours. I don't know what happened. But then you tip, and the tip's a little like, whatever. But you could get it for like $30. You do the tip for like anywhere. I used to tip 15-20%, but they get kind of mad at you, so I give like, whatever. But the point is this: I chill after that. Okay, so it's one of those days, like maybe I used to do maybe a Saturday or Sunday when I was just by myself and I just wanted to like chill and I just wanted to kind of like, all right, I want to get the week started right. I'm stressing out about something, or maybe I'm not stressing out. I just want to relax and I want to figure it out, right? Then you can come to center and then you have a good idea, or you go, you know what? I've been sitting on that the whole time. That can make money. Or you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and apply for that job. Or you know what? I'm going to go ahead and sell that stuff that I need to sell. Maybe it's a vehicle. Maybe it's something that you're like, you know what? I need to get out from under. I can do this or that. Keep your expenses low, because all those people that had their expenses high and bought a lot of stuff are like, oh shoot. So there's a lot of stuff on the market that people are going to want and or buy in the next few months, because people are going to be like, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Oculuses on the market. There's going to be a lot of things on the market that they're like, dude, I need cash now, because they're stressing out. They have a baby that they didn't know about, right? They have like announcement of, oh, we're pregnant. What? We were dating. I didn't sign up for this. And they're like, well, too bad, so sad. And now you have a couple that now has like for life, they're always tied to each other, even though they cheat on each other all throughout. And the little baby is like, I got born into this. Thanks a lot. So the next guy or girl that comes in and saves a family, you're like, okay, what happens next? And so, yeah, don't ever go a cheater. And if you find a cheater, just leave. That's what I say, especially now, because they only cheat again. So that's what I say. But my point is this. Just kind of like, if you can, there's a lot of things that can stress anybody out, even like hearing that right now, because you're like, there is somebody that I know that kind of cheats. Yeah, it's probably that guy or that girl. So there's a lot of cheaters out there. Don't get with the cheater. That's all I got to say. Okay. Other than that, Jess, what do you got for us?
Okay, so there are times where I do get excited. So I saw this video on it's on Facebook and a lot of other places as well. Okay. So this couple, they buy these really cool looking dog kennels. Okay.
Okay.
So wouldn't you want to like try it out to see how much room you actually got in those things? Would you go in though?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I saw the video. I didn't know what it was about. You're talking about one of those like dog crates. Would you go in it if it was big enough for you to get in it? I wouldn't. Who's putting me in it, Jess?
No, you're getting in it yourself.
But who's putting me in it? I think it's kind of important to know. Like,
Oh.
like if you were alone, would you do it? I think the answer, I don't know. If somebody asked me to do it, kind of like the video is, it would depend on the person asking me. Would I trust that person? Is you get where I'm going with this? I think a lot. It's really quick. I go, you go in, because I'm not going in. Go ahead, Jess. What's the story?
So yeah, so a couple they kind of when the husband went in to test it out, he was like, okay. The wife wasn't thinking like a lot of people don't. She was like, okay, I want to try it out too. And it was then that they realized that, you know what, we're both locked into these kennels.
Wait, they both
So
got in? No way.
they had two kennels and each one went in one to like try it out. But I don't think she intended to lock it. But when she closed it, it locked automatically.
Okay, so they didn't get in the same one. They got in two separate crates, and
Yes.
and then it locks, and they couldn't get out. So now they know how the dog feels. So they were stuck the whole. When did they get out, Jess?
Yeah, so in a couple minutes, they were you can see them wiggling around if you watch the video. They're trying to figure out. You can hear laughter in the background.
Okay.
But they were able to figure out how to open it by like wiggling it so that they were like face to face and using their fingers to open it up on each other's. But if not, they would either have to shout at Alexa to be like, call the police or something. But oh my God, that would be absolutely embarrassing. You know what? I just realized this isn't the first time this happened to somebody. I saw a TikTok where this lady, she feeds her chickens, and her chickens are mean. Like they play pranks on her. So she went inside the chicken coop because it's a walk-in one, and I guess the chicken closed it, and then it locked automatically. So she was just like, "Oh, great!" So she ended up calling the fire department, and they ended up laughing because
Why
she's
are
like,
people walking into these things? You don't like test an animal in it, not you. Why are people doing that in the first place? I don't get it. Where did that come from? Do they think they were a dog or a chicken in the past life? I'm just saying there are some things people do. I go, no, I'm good. I don't think I would do that to begin with. Anyway, okay, we got to take a break. I'm glad they got out. I'm glad it was only a little. We'll be back right after this. Woo.
You owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state? Did you miss sending out a prior year tax return? The IRS is out to collect now more than ever, and they'll use any means necessary. They legally can and will garnish your wages, take your money, and even seize your property. If you're behind on your taxes, call the Tax Relief Hotline right now at 951-224-9000. That's 951-224-9000. 951-224-9000. You can legally get your tax debt under control, and in many cases get the breathing room you need. Garnished wages, property seizures, bank levies can stop immediately, but you have to call. Many of our specialists are IRS enrolled agents. They know the system and how to make it work for you. Don't wait for the IRS to come down on you. Act now so you can get your tax debt under control. Call their Riverside office today for free info at 951-224-9000. That's 951-224-9000. 951-224-9000.
For all you truck and RV enthusiasts, Truckworks right here in Banning is your one-stop shop for the best diesel performance and overall truck and RV needs. Whether you're towing, racing, off-road, or just cruising around town, Truckworks specializes in truck and RV service, maintenance, repair, and performance upgrades for every light and medium-duty truck manufacturer. Bring it down to Terry and the guys at Truckworks. Call 951-922-4776 or visit their website at mydieseldown.com today.
Mattress Brothers Overstock Mattress Sale. Just $3.99 for a foam-encased queen pillow top set. $3.99. Check out Mattress Brothers $3.99 Overstock Sale. Mattress Brothers at 120 West Redlands Boulevard in Redlands. The $3.99 Overstock Sale is on now. $3.99 for a foam-encased queen pillow top set. Mattress Brothers also has locations in Hemet, Riverside, and Palm Desert. The $3.99 queen pillow top sale on now.
We're in the studio with Fred Penny, managing attorney with Penny and Associates Injury Lawyers. Fred, tell us what makes you the number one choice for handling personal injury cases.
Most of our firm is made up of former insurance company trial lawyers with extensive experience handling all types of personal injury matters. We believe that gives us a distinct advantage.
That's Penny and Associates Injury Lawyers with locations throughout California. For a free consultation, go to pennyandassociates.com or call 1-800-616-4-LAW. That's 1-800-616-4-LAW.
Everybody loves to hear what Grandpa has to say because Grandpa speaks with wisdom. Here on KMET, Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Be sure to listen.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. Jess, I know, the wedding's coming up around the corner, but man, oh man, if this happened, I think you wouldn't be happy about it. I'm not going to lie. This is the headline. Hot Mike picks up best man's disrespectful remarks about bridesmaid in cringy TikTok. I don't know if you've seen this. It looks fun. Yikes.
I have not heard about this or seen it. I can only say, oh my God, if you always assume the mic is on if you have one.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say. I learned the hard way.
Yeah. Wedding and event videographer Rob Chiola gained 11.8 million views. Oh man, he's gonna get so upset with life. So evidently, he's the guy who taped this and he put it out there. That's not good. 1.2 million likes and more than 8,000 comments when he uploaded the shudder-inducing moment to his account. Some wedding guests, let's see, say things. They don't know they're being recorded. It says, like, the mother of the groom who waited until her son's wedding day to reveal his childhood's gifts, mortifying secret. Rob's video serves as a reminder to always think before speaking, especially when mic'd. Yeah, but these guys are not, trained for that. The video begins with the shot of a bridesmaid walking down the aisle as the music serenades. An off-screen voice can be heard whispering, "Oh yeah," right? That's called, ooh, okay. The video then cuts to the groomsmen standing at the altar. Zoom in on those, the best man says with a smirk frost. Okay, that happens. That's normal. The groom chortles, I don't know what that word is, then catches himself and shushes his friend. He says, "Was I loud?" The best man asks, blaming the music behind him. The groom chastises his friend with some harsh language, then reminds him sharply that he's mic'd up. He says, "You're an idiot." The groom mutters masterfully, the Chiola films, then crash zooms on the beaming, rosy-cheeked groomsman, thus sealing his viral fate. He said, "That's some serious," he used a word I don't understand, but I'm not going to say it. Energies. I don't know what it means. I don't know what guys mean when they say this. But he said, "If I've ever seen some, good on the groom for calling him out," said somebody. I don't know what that means. But he said something he probably shouldn't have. So it's on the film. It's on TikTok. If you find it, let me know. I want to see it because I guarantee you, if you're ever mic'd, don't ever say anything that you don't want anyone to hear. I will say this. One time I was mic'd and I forgot I was mic'd. And I was like, but I wasn't on like, video at the time. And I said something like, if somebody's listening, they just heard that. They hear everything, man. And they're just like, so they may not be broadcasting it, but they hear. So you're like, shoot. So don't say anything that's ever private on a mic. And it's easy to forget. I know people that have gone to the restroom being mic'd. And then you're like, that happened at a church once. And it was like, everyone was like, "What's that sound?" So you got to be careful. Anyway, just go ahead.
No, I totally understand because I was, I think a few years back, I was helping a show out and we're testing out these new mics and they were wireless. So, and then he was like, he disappeared for a while and he was out of range. So we're like, okay, so me and the woman I was working with, we have the audio on, we're just doing stuff before the show. And then I guess he came back into range.
Yeah.
And yes, he was in the bathroom because we were like, wait, what's that noise? We're like, we don't have any audio going, do we? And we're like trying to isolate where that sound's coming from. And we're like, wait, it's coming from his mic. And then we could hear everything, every push, every drop.
Oh, no. Every push, every drop.
I was like, no. Mute.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, and I don't think anybody tells a person that they're mic'd, but everybody like laughs a little, like, okay. All right, Jess, what's going on in the world?
Oh my God, there are so many things going on in the world, but I am excited that what show came on today? That 90s show. I'm excited for it. Have you ever seen that 70s show?
Yes.
Yes, that 90s show is on Netflix, is the sequel to that show.
Oh, it's called that 90s show. You got me. Okay, I was like, wait, what? Are you talking about the 70s show? It's now the 90s show? Okay, so it's like the update of it, or like, it's not the same people, is it? Or is it a couple of people in it? Because I can't see them all coming back.
No, it's the same people. It follows...
Really? Wait, Kutcher's coming back in that?
Who's coming? Ashton Kutcher? Yes.
Oh, that's going to be interesting then. Okay, all right.
It follows the kids of the kids, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, wait.
So, like,
the kids of the kids.
So like Donna and Eric, they have a kid, and
okay, they're playing that whole like 20 years thing later, and so okay, that makes sense actually. Okay, I was like doing the math. I'm like, that 70s show, you could be like that was early 70s. Okay, that makes sense. So, well, that's good. You know why? Because I think we need like a revamp of the 90s. You know what I mean? Like there were a lot of heart things that people go, wait, I forgot about the 90s, right? Like I remember being like, with, well, I'm not going to say because a lot of time has passed, but there was a girl in the 90s, it was early 90s actually, that I was like yeah. But anyway, I'm not going to say anything because she could be married. So I want to keep my mouth shut. Go ahead, Jess.
But no, I saw the just 10 minutes of it, and it felt like, you know what, the show never ended for me because you know what, I love the characters Red and the wife Kitty.
Yeah,
they're the ones that made the show, and they're back. So it's pretty much, I love it.
And they got the redo. Like you remember, like, okay, so WandaVision does that really quick, right? It kind of speeds them up in the first few episodes from like the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And then I think that's kind of where they stop. So I want to see what the 90s are because a lot of the music, I wonder if it's coming back, if like the nostalgia of the 90s, because it's really not that long ago, but I'm pretty sure that 70s show with people that were like, I remember the 70s, like, I'm not sure if they were fans of it. I think kids were fans of it. So I'm like, wow, kids are gonna have to know what it was like for you and I in the '90s, right? So it's like, oh man. But that's when we didn't have internet, we didn't have a phone, and they make fun of something. How many seasons do they got? Is it one season or how many?
For right now, it's one season, so give it a watch. Hopefully, they'll go for a second season. I hope it continues. I do. But
Okay.
yeah, wow. I remember when I had to go on the internet, I had to go to the library to use their computer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I made this comment the other day, and I felt like, God, I feel so old. But somebody was asking, like the stuff that you watch on your phone. I go, man, if I were a kid right now, like I would love growing up and going to, because I had to take my mom, she had to go to pain management, and I was like, having to sit there, and I'm like, back in the day when I was a kid, you had to like take your like notes or like your stuff or draw or do like a word puzzle thing because it was boring, 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 boring. But now kids just have to take the phone. You have to give them the phone, and then they're good to go, right? Like there's no reason to be bored with the phone because you could watch anything. You could play a game. You could download a game to play. I know just you got games on your phone that you play every now and then. You don't have to be bored at all. So I'm like, but kids don't understand that. But for us in the '90s, I thought it was a good time. Those were kind of like my mid to high school years. I met some people recently that I'll be honest, I don't remember them, but they knew certain teachers in high school that I went to school with, and I was like, oh, and so we had like a commonality of a friend. He's the one we're doing a story with, but I guess the point is like I'm glad the '90s are coming back. I think it's gonna I think there's gonna be things from it, but it's not that long ago in a way. Because the '70s show, when did that come out? What year was that? Do you remember?
1998.
Oh, then you know
Yeah.
what? They're on par. I take that back. They're on par. So 20 years later, they do the 20-year thing. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, well, you know what? Good for them. Good for them. I remember like tape cassettes, right? Tape was a thing. I had a bunch of tapes together. Did you have those?
You talk about VHS?
No tapes.
I
No, I'm talking about little
oh,
tapes. The little tapes like for music. Like you would buy like a record or a tape. Everything
oh,
was tape.
you talk about like a cassette tape. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
Walkman was big. Walkman was
Yeah,
big.
yeah, no, I would have to listen to the radio, wait for the song, hit record, and then once the song's over, stop it. You know how you make your little mixtape? You remember back in the days.
See, I didn't do that. I had my father. He did that. He did that, and he'd sit there and sit there and sit there. I'm like, okay, but I was young when that happened, and I remember thinking, I wonder if that's right or I wonder if that's wrong. But I'm like, just go buy it. But if you didn't want to spend money, yes, that would be the thing that you would do. I don't think people. No one does that with their iPhone, huh? They don't wait for like the music to come on and just record the sound of it anymore, right? Is there a thing? Is there a possibility? I'm sure there's an app for it. You can stream like I don't know, like one of those like music shows. We're not music shows, so I'm good with this. But anyway, yeah. So there you go. All right, and that's when the internet started in a way, like Prodigy, AOL. And then like you, Jess, CDs were a big thing in the '90s. And then you got that little disc like in certain magazines, and it was like 20 hours or sign up for your first month free, and then you cancel right away. And then you're like, okay, I'm done, right?
Oh yes, yes, yes. I remember also there was a media that never quite picked up steam. Do you remember laser discs?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. A lot of people don't know what those are. So when I tell them, imagine a compact disc just the size of a giant record. And they're like, what? So it's kind of hard for them to imagine, but it's funny.
Yeah, I believe it. So yeah, I think if anything, it's going to be kind of interesting. So I'm glad to see it have a revamp. Then it'll be a revamp of them, and I think fans of the '70s show will. We had one of the '70s. She was talking. She's I can never remember her name when I need to. She's the redhead. She was on our show talking about like clearing out her body. And she sold a book, and she sold a lot, by the way. But she's the red lady. So anyway, all right, we're gonna take a quick break. We got more right after this. Stay tuned. I cannot remember her name. I know some of you do.
Your Pharmacy and Mobility Solutions is now Beaumont Pharmacy with a new location at the Sundance Corporate Center. That's at the corner of Highland Springs and 8th in Suite 110. Of course, they still have Pack Your Meds. No more counting out the pills, dropping them on the floor. Oh, what a mess. And they have a full selection of pharmaceutical CBD. Wheelchairs, over-the-counter meds, you name it, they've got it. So if you're looking for the best and you want the best pharmacy, you go to Beaumont Pharmacy at their new location, 835 North Highland Springs, Beaumont Avenue in Beaumont, California, Suite 110. Give them a call, 951-845-8252.
Out the door, in the car, off to work. The same old morning routine. Take a break and stop for hot coffee or a latte and a fresh homemade cinnamon roll or a chocolate cream puff. Donut Delight on Highland Springs Road in Banning is a locally owned family business with a friendly staff and customers who are always glad to see you. Get your morning off to a great start at Donut Delight on the corner of Highland Springs Road and Ramsey Street, right off the I-10 freeway, serving the Pass area for 22 years. Donut Delight is open at 4:30 a.m. daily.
Standard time is here. That means shorter days and cooler nights that make you want to stay inside. Don't get caught in the cold. Franklin Mechanical Systems can do a preventative maintenance check on your heating unit to get it working right. For cleaning, repair, or a new installation, call them for a free estimate. Franklin Mechanical Systems, for all your residential and commercial heating and air conditioning needs. Call their Beaumont office at 951-845-1000. That's 951-845-1000, and stay warm today.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com, license under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Join Yvette Walker every Tuesday at 4 o'clock p.m. on KMET ABC News Radio, 1490 AM, FM 98.1, and Internet KMET TV for the Southern California Business Report. The show is dedicated to highlighting successful businesses and the individuals behind them. Yvette interviews the incredible people managing these enterprises that range from awe-inspiring sole proprietors to world-renowned organizations. The Southern California Business Report, Tuesdays at 4 o'clock p.m.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We got a lot going on. We do say, be aware of driving. A lot of people are kind of, there's a lot of accidents on the, I know when you go to work, Jess, it's kind of early in the morning, but, it's been cold. They say there's a possibility of another rain. Not sure that's going to happen. I know some people are traveling kind of like in the snow and in the weather. Be careful of the road. That's all I could say. All right, Jess, what's going on?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Oh, there was a story I was going to make fun of, but I can't remember what it was. What was it? Oh, yes. No, I was not going to make fun of this story. This guy deserves everything. Okay, so how long do you think you could survive on ketchup?
Oh, that's a good question. That's like one of those survival questions, huh? How long can you survive on ketchup? Okay. The body actually, do you want the real answer or just the real quick answer?
Just give me a quick answer.
Pretty long, because you actually need water to survive. People don't understand that. You can actually eat almost anything as long as it doesn't poison you. So there you go.
That's true. That is true. So a man who spent 24 days adrift in the Caribbean Sea, he had nothing more to eat than ketchup for that time that he was just floating on the water.
Okay, now here's my question. How much ketchup did he have and how much did he go through?
Yeah, so apparently he had no food. It was just a bottle of ketchup that was on the boat, garlic powder, and stock cubes. So he mixed it up with some water, and that's what he was consuming for those 24 days.
Okay, all right. So, okay, what happened? Why was he in the water?
The story reports that Elvis Francois was found 120 nautical miles northwest of Colombia's Puerto Bolivar after a plane saw the word help engraved on the hull of his sailboat. Gotcha. So most likely he was a sailor and his boat happened to just take some damage, I guess. So it says Francois from the island nation of Dominica. Never that place? Okay. Said he'd been making repairs to his boat near the Dutch part of the island of Saint Martin in December when adverse weather conditions pulled his boat out to sea. Gotcha. Wow, he's lucky to be alive. I would not be alive at all.
Yeah, well, and that's why I say people don't understand. You can actually live on little, and it's really not that. It's the part where I'm kind of interested where you say he mixed it up with water. So I wonder, was it drinking water? Was it the water of the ocean? Like, because there is a way to not get dehydrated and still be all right with that, without like drinking. Like, I don't know how he went to the restroom, how he went. Like, I'm glad they found him. Thank God. The headline actually made it to big news as well. He was in the Caribbean Sea, and I think that's kind of. I think his name's kind of interesting, Elvis Francois. He doesn't look like an Elvis, to be honest. But he was found 120 nautical miles northwest of Colombia's Puerto Bolivar after a plane saw the word, as you said, to help engraved on the hull of his sailboat. So okay, his sailboat was stuck. Got it. Okay. And he had no food. It was just a bottle of ketchup that was on the boat. Okay, back to what you were saying. All right. So yeah, he was stuck. Had no way of like getting them to know him. Yeah, Dominica. Okay, said he had been making repairs to his boat near the Dutch part of the island of Saint Martin in December. Wow, he's been out there since December. That's a long time, Jess.
I think that's when he started it. Maybe. Oh wait, no, 23. Holy! I just realized what day it was. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what day it was.
Yeah. In December, when adverse weather conditions pulled his boat out to sea. Okay, that makes sense. I had at the beginning of COVID, somebody hit me up on social media. They said, "Please help me. I don't know what to do." And they had gone out, and people were not nice about it. I was like, why are you guys not being nice? And this happened in 2020. I remember this. She had a boat, and she went out because that's what people do when they have a boat. She didn't really pay attention to the whole COVID thing. When everybody went in like that mode of like, at the very beginning when pandemic was announced, she was already out to sea. Then there was a storm, happened the same way to her. And then one of their like, I think one of the things that like helps you steer or something went out. So she had service on her phone, and she's like, let me see if this guy could help me out. So I put her in touch with a couple people, and I'm like, can you help this person out? Then I posted it on social media, and somebody went at me like, why are you helping this person? I said, why would, huh? Like, it didn't make sense. And I get that the video was grainy, but she was out at sea, and she had an old phone, right? Now, some are like, well, why would she go out on the water during COVID? It's when it first started. Now people are very lax about it, so it's like, but at the time, they're like, ah! So even Catalina, she tried to dock at Catalina, and Catalina was like, no, you're not coming to our island, okay? This all happened in 2020. And so she's like, I don't know what to do. And I said, okay. So I posted on social media, and thankfully there was somebody on social media that said, okay, I could bring her some stuff because he was on Catalina Island. That's why sometimes I post things on Facebook because we're connected to a lot of people, right? So I posted it, and he said he took care of her. And then I'm like, okay, well, let me know about an update because, oh, that's what it was. Long Beach Authority wasn't either A, answering, or, they were like on vacation with COVID. So they all went like it was weird. So then I said, okay, who can I ask that can help out? So then I asked a reporter friend who worked for the sheriffs. I said, can you help out? She said, yeah. So she made a call, and then she finally got like what she needed. And then she sent me a message saying, thank you. And that's how it went. But because she was on the sea, people were getting upset. Like, no, we don't know if you have COVID if you're going to bring it to us. But I'm like, they're at sea. So back to this guy. So I get how that happened. So yeah, in December. So, okay, he said he lacked navigational knowledge and was unable to maneuver his boat back to shore, spending weeks lost at sea. It says 24 days, no land, nobody to talk to, don't know what to do, don't know where you are. It was rough. At a certain time, I lose hope. I think about my family. Okay, yeah, he has broken English. I get that. After being rescued, he was transferred to the port city of Cartagena, where he received medical care and was later handed over to immigration authorities for his return home. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so at the end of the day, he survived. I think he could survive on more than ketchup because, I don't know, like, at what weight he started at, but it's a good way to, lose a lot of weight real quick, Jess. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah, that is one way. Get lost at sea. Oh yeah, how'd you lose weight? I got lost at sea for a couple weeks. It's all good.
Yeah, exactly.
I got trapped on an island.
Because that will happen. Your body will consume your weight, if that makes sense, if you're stuck that long. But water is very important. So I want to know how he survived with the water that he had, if anything. Because it's water that really, if it starts shutting down, he can still have problems with his, like with his health for, a couple years, especially his kidney, his liver, and sometimes even his intestine. He may look good on the outside now. He's just happy to be saved. He's like, man, I'm so glad I'm home. So that's good. But at the end of the day, you don't want to be stuck at sea like that. Not for that long. You know what I mean, Jess?
Yeah, like the only way I would like to be stuck at sea like that or just stuck on an island is if I had the supplies. Like, did he have a fishing pole? Well, probably didn't have a fishing pole. But
But that's a good thing to take on a boat if you were stuck at sea. Fishing, that's actually a good idea, Jess, and you can eat it. I don't know how you would cook it though.
It's called sushi.
Okay, you know what? Yeah. Wow, Jess, you are very much the survivor guy. Okay, so there you go. What's the other story, Jess?
For right now, that is the one I will leave you. And there is a story. So I like to hear a lot of old Hollywood stories.
Okay.
So there was one that was released a week ago. Do you remember the movie Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I know you haven't seen it.
Of course I remember that, and you're right, I have not seen it. So I think there's a video game kind of about all of that, but go ahead.
So yeah, the narrator for the beginning part of that movie was John Larroquette.
Okay.
And there's always rumors on how much he got paid for that role just to, do the narration for that movie.
Yeah.
Can you guess how much he was paid during that time? This was in the 70s, or I believe, yeah, 74. So how much do you think?
At that time to narrate?
Yes.
Narrators don't get a lot. And if it's like indie-ish, they don't get a lot at all. So I would say anywhere from as little as 3,000 to 8,000.
In 74?
100 to $200?
No, they just gave him a bag of marijuana. Yes. So that's what he was paid for the opening narration of that movie.
Well, I'm overpaying, man. Okay, so wow. Wow. Some people do things for free. People don't understand. They don't tell it. But then when it gets big, they go, so they got him high, and then they had him narrate it for. Okay, well, all right. Let's go back to that. How much was that marijuana worth at that time, Jess?
You know what? Yeah, that's true. I don't know. He says the only thing that's quote is let's see, totally true. He gave me some marijuana or a matchbox or whatever you called it in those days. He's like, I walked out of the recording studio, patted me on the back, and says, "Good luck to you."
Wow. Okay, see, I people thought, I know for a minute, they're like, they don't pay that little. I don't think so. How much did you think he originally got paid before that story came out?
I don't know, probably $500 or something.
That little? Man, Jess. Okay, so here's the thing. People,
it's an indie film, so like you said, it's not like it's a big blockbuster movie at that time.
Yeah, people. That's why some people do union and some people do non-union. But some union people do non-union anyway. They're technically not supposed to, but they do anyway. Now, if you get to the size of Tom Cruise or Jeremy Renner or any one of those guys, usually you do only union, right? You have an agent, you're good to go because you got big, right? Really big. But after some time, if they were I don't know, you get older and then no one, they kind of cast you as, but you're the Hawk or, oh, you're the Mission Impossible guy. At some point, if you don't know how to revamp what you do or produce your own stuff, that's what Tom Cruise does. He does a lot of his own stuff. And Jeremy could do that. All he has to do is a lot of voiceover and he'll be good to go. But in a way, people are like, oh, no, they're rich all the time. No, they're constantly working, but that's all they do, right? Some people rarely have another job. Now, back to what you're saying. I know a lot of indie people, and sometimes we get hit up by indie people going, hey, promote our stuff. I go, okay, but there's a certain thing that I don't really promote on here, and it's called, gore. I don't do gore stuff, right, Jess? I know you like gore, but I don't do gore on this show. Because, we got kids, we got families, we got that, so I kind of promote, but I've had a lot of indies go our way, and I'm like, all right. And sometimes they go, all right, that's fine. You never know. But what people don't understand is sometimes even the makeup people get almost nothing on some of these sets. Makeup people can easily make minimum $300 to $400 average, but I've seen them get paid like $100, $50, $30, even like are you okay with getting credit? And like you got credit. People go, okay. That's the way they used to be, okay? Prior to, I would say, 2020, okay? After 2020, people are like, no, pay me. I had one time a host, and I'm like, it's virtual. We're like doing the way we do it. She's like, no, I want you to pay me like, and it was much more. I'm like, okay, that's like if you were on Entertainment Tonight, you're not. You're on, like it's not that, okay? So I was like, yeah, I can't use you. And then the other ones that were nice about it, because I didn't have a big budget, I didn't get paid a lot. So I'm like, okay, I only have this amount. I always say it right up front, and they were willing to. But they don't want it out there how much they got paid because people think, oh, they got paid, like a lot. But they don't. But I'm like, well, it's on the weekend. What else were you doing? At least you got paid something. Because I've done a lot of stuff, Jess, for free. People always think, oh, you're getting paid. You're getting paid. I go, no, I'm not under contract. Like, you don't get it. I can work for anyone because I'm not under contract. So that's where people think, like, you know what I mean, Jess?
Oh, yeah.